Hello friends, my name is Olga. I'm Ukrainian refugee. I'm study also medicine during war. I am the student of Medical University of Kiev, and I'm living in Italy. All this almost 6 months or a little bit less, I was as a classical refugee, and some private volunteer foundation helped me and other Ukrainians. They took us from Slovakia, where we evacuated from different parts of Ukraine. And in this video, while I'm not much connected with them anymore, I want to summarize my experience as a refugee, and I want to tell you about pluses and minuses of being a refugee, to share my experience. The first very big fat plus is that this organization give you free room where to live, and exactly this organization, they really gave me every time we changed the place where we lived for several times in Italy, because for example they had a contract for living in some place, and if this finished they make us leave, and they replace us in other place. So this is a free room, but we had to change it several times. And of course, you understand, for person who had no any means much, who don't know how to rent this room, and actually don't have money to rent it, and have no documents, it's very big plus, and I'm very thankful to them that they really helped us, because for example I knew in some other countries, in Germany, there is no individual rooms, and Ukrainian refugees, they just lived for example, I don't know, 50 person on 100 person in one big gym, or in school, or in some hospital, very large rooms for big number of person. There was a lot of beds, and just beds, and one kitchen for all. I think it's kind of hard to live like that, because you don't have to where to put safely your bags, your documents, your money. Everybody could take, anyone could take them away, and for me as a person with 4 cats, it was just impossible to live like this. And this organization, they really, in Slovakia, they told me that I will have the individual room because of 4 cats. Okay, if I would be alone, it's okay, I could live together with a big number of people, but with cats it's just impossible, they will escape, and that's all. So they really did this, and for each person, for each couple, for families, they gave this individual room. Mostly we lived, these rooms was connected with church, with some religious places, because I think only such a kind of organization could give you the place for free in Italy. But as in Italy all it's quite expensive, I think it's really big plus and really big help. And the second plus is the free food. Yes, it's the second plus. It's on the very beginning, I would say that was enough food, and it was it was the all kinds of food. They do not give us a long time a bread. I don't know why, but actually, if you have vegetables, if you have some canned products, if you have sometimes meat and other things, cereals, you can survive. And they also give us a flour, a sugar, and flour. Oh, I forgot, sorry, how to pronounce the flour. It's a powder of wheat, to make the bread by ourselves, to use the yeasts, and sometimes we need it. So yes, it was the second plus, and for person to have a free place where to live, and to have a food, I think it's the most important things, and this foundation helped us. And the third plus is the help with the documents, because we just were transported to Italy like blind kittens. Office workers in this foundation, they make this process by themselves. They collect all necessary things and deliver us in some place where we should sign some documents, make a picture, and all these necessary documents like permesso soggiorno, it's permission for living in Italy, it's very important, carta d'identità. And the last thing is a tessera sanitaria. It's a sanitary card for a hospital, for, connected with your health. Without this card, you cannot get any medical help. It's very important. And also this permesso soggiorno, it contains the taxes code, Codice Fiscale. It's very important in Italy because it's the first thing they ask you. So all this and also they helped with the bank card, yeah, for most of the other Ukrainians. But anyway, in my case, I did my card by myself. It was kind of very hard, but I did it. But anyway, for all Ukrainians, they help with the documents and with bank card too. And it was 3 pluses, and the fourth plus is that you're not alone, especially on the first stages, first month, first 3 months. It's very important. When you arrive just alone in the different country, you don't know the language, you don't know anything, you don't know even how to buy properly a ticket, you don't know how to pass in the underground station, you don't know how to use simple things because it's all different. It's kind of very important to be not alone, but in some group of your the same citizens, the same Ukrainians, because some of them maybe have friends here, some of them got some information they could share with you, and some of people, they more have skills to communicate with strangers, and they could ask and they could tell you this information, they could help you. So we could help each other in some questions, and we could communicate in our native language, try to cook our foods that everybody likes, food that everybody likes, and it's very important. On the first stages, like kind of support, and I think it's very big plus that we was not alone in this situation, because as I told you, we were just taken and transported to Italy, like in the moment. We wasn't prepared, we wasn't how to say, morally prepared or in any sense prepared for this. It was kind of a little bit shock for the first months maybe. And the last plus is the help with learning Italian language. This is free lessons. And in Ukraine, and in any country, if you want to learn some other language, you have to attend a language school, and you have to pay for this. And this language, this organization, they found a volunteer. This volunteer is former teacher in Italian school, and so it is native speaker. And in Ukraine, for example, if you want to learn a language with a native speaker, they always write about this course which contain the communication with native speaker. It's very cool. It could be maybe a little bit more expensive because you communicated with person who really speaks this language from was born. This person was born, and so this also plus, because it is for free. You can learn language. For example, when I came to Italy, I even didn't know an alphabet. One woman gave me some note, and I I was sure that maybe if I know English, I can read it. But I looked at this, oh my God, I cannot read it at all, because completely different rules of reading. And now I can understand something that Italian talks about, and I can even support some not complicated conversation in Italian. So I made some success, and all this thanks to this, maybe not all, because I try to communicate with Italians in my life, but anyway, the base was the like start gave me this lessons, and I'm very thankful to the foundation for these free lessons. And it was 6 classes, but you see behind me is completely different room and completely different conditions. And this room is not first room that I got by myself, by my own efforts. Volunteer organization didn't take part in this even on 1%, and I did it by myself. And so now I'm independent person. I'm not connected with this volunteer organization anymore. And also I'm very happy because I'm free. And you may ask me, sorry, I could, my cats argue. Wait a second. I'm sorry. This is Mila. He wants to be very important among girls. Okay, so the minuses of being a refugee. I'm very happy that I am free, and that's why I'm happy. First of all, because of Ukrainians. You may ask me why you told that you was in the group of the same people, and you have the same food, the same language, and you help each other. Yes, it was on the first maybe first of or 2 or 3, yeah, maybe first and second months, especially first months. But then some people they showed some also their negative sides, because you understand, if you see that, for example, missile destroyed some building, destroyed some I don't know, some flats, some houses, and these people became refugees. They all different people. And some of them was taken against their will to Italy. I mean, they just have no place where to live. They escaped to Slovakia, and Slovakia, this was a temporary camp, and the owner told that you have to go somewhere, and this person don't know where to go, and here's all group goes in Italy, and they like, oh, okay, maybe I will go in Italy because everybody goes in Italy. So this person, they some of them just went to Italy together because everybody goes there, and there was a promise there will be some room to live. And so we all group of Ukrainians, we all are different, and it is a different social level, different habits, and on the first stage all people, they were thankful, they scared, they not adapted, they help each other, they share information. And then some of them showed they not best things, and where you live, when you live together, the more people together live, the more problems. For example, some people have like alcohol. Yes, they're not alcoholics, but anyway, if they have a tiniest possibility, they will buy alcohol, they will make a party, drink until the middle of the night, singing. And other people, they have, for example, I have lessons, I should sleep at night, and for me it wasn't good. Some people have small children, 2 years old, 4 years old. These children also should sleep, and such a, a typical things that just when a lot of totally different people live together, and it's creates not healthy situation sometimes. And I am happy that I am lived in the not in the, because there is this organization, they have central office, it's big house on 3 or 4 floors. On the I would say maybe on the ground floor, because it's kind of on the level of the ground, a little bit under, there is an office, and the other 3 floors they above, and there is the rooms of refugees. And there was a lot of people, and there was like a bees hive, because of these problems I told you. Someone want to make a party, someone want to sleep, someone to want to get some food in the kitchen, and take much food than another people. And so it's kind of very hard. And even we lived separately. We lived 4 families in the near church, and we attended it for Italian, this office for Italian lessons. But even when I lived in this near church, in this house, we have only 4, as I told you, families. There was a problems, because, for example, one woman, she had a kid, 3 years old, and all other people had animals. And this granny, she was very angry, because for animals it's a lack of hygiene, it's possible infection, it's possible helminths in the could be child infected. And she like forbid me to make my cats go out in the hall. And it was terrible, because she had no right to forbid me. We have all equals right, but because that she have a child, she did this. And for my cats it was real stress. Of course I make them go out, but not when she is present. And when she start to complain in the office, they said that you are refugees, you should be thankful for what you have to live in peace there. But sometimes was no peace, because of this, because she don't like animals, and all we have animals. And it wasn't pleasant. And because of this I wanted to live separately. I want to have a completely different place where I'm living, without people who have to tell me like what should I do with my cats or something. And so there was a problems with Ukrainians. I think that all people all over the world, they have the same problems, the same habits, the same pluses and the same 7 sins. So I don't say that Ukrainians are bad, but they have disadvantages as all people around the world, and it's better to live separately in this case, or with people that like more the same level, the same age, the same hobbies, and the same, for example, attitude to animals near you. So it was the first minus, it's not plus. I told you about the second minus. It's actually connected with the first, because in the central office also office workers, they were not pleased of some behavior of some people. And when we came for Italian lessons, these office workers, they sometimes, not always of course, but few times for this half of the year, they could came like, stop the lesson, I want to talk to everybody. What was last night in the 2 a.m.? Yeah, I saw you in the camera. If you're not that thankful, if you cannot follow the rules, you will be out. And so, yes, of course, it's not wasn't about me. Like, they didn't tell about exactly me these things. But when you always hear that for any reason they don't like, you could be out, so they could be make you leave, and you have to follow the rules. It's a little bit like an invisible stone on your under your head, because you always think that they can make you leave if you will not follow their rules. If, for example, maybe some rules or some things they will tell you or propose to do, you will not like. So what you're gonna do? You have to go out, and it's kind of not pleasant things to hear, that on the second day, if they don't like, they will stop to help you, and you become a helpless blind kitten once again. So it's the maybe expressions that made me to find some way to get rid of this help, because for the first stage it was very, very helpful for the first few months maybe, but then you understand that you have to move on. You have to search something more individual, because you cannot be dependent on people who can decide your destiny in just like they decide. Don't help. We have private organization, we could tell you for a few hours to leave this room and stop the rent. So it was kind of scary and not pleasant to hear, even if they do not tell it exactly to me. That's why it was a minus for me, this dependence, because of this free room. The second the third, sorry, minus, it's that the problems with documents. Yes, I told you that the main documents, they helped us, and they helped us to make, and they gave it to us. But sometimes they, for example, wrote in the chat of the group that please, after the Italian lesson, go to our office and sign the documents. They do not explain what kind of documents we have to sign, and it's kind of a little bit great, not that some Ukrainians don't trust, because they do not explain anything. They wanted to take some documents that I prepared by myself when I prepared to be independent. And they asked me to give the documents that I made for myself without their help, and it was kind of not pleasant, because it's like control. And anyway, I noticed that during this period I became a refugee in the in the spring, in the maybe first middle of the summer. Some people really helped me a lot, and I'm very thankful. But it's also connected with the second, like second side, that these persons or these foundations, they became like a boss under you, or person who can decide, who can give you a lot of advice what to do, and sometimes it's a little bit too much. So really, if you want to help person, you have to be sure that this person really needs it. It's maybe this happened with this foundation. I think I talk too much to you about this, but for me it's really important, and I think documents is very important for each person. The fourth minus is the also, as I told you, some connected with other control. For example, some mothers, they have small children, and these office workers watched very strictly how these mothers can communicate with children. And sometimes when these children have just simple, how to say, child is hysteric and they loud, and this people in the office, they try to help, and it's getting worse. And for young mothers, it was very hard to follow the rules. Okay, it's maybe not a problem on the first stage, maybe on the, I don't know, first, yes, 2-3 months when people are adapting. After this, it's getting a little bit annoying. For example, in the summer when it was too hot. After 11 o'clock it was very good weather just to walk maybe 15-20 minutes out, because before 11 o'clock it was very hot, and you cannot do it because it's the 10 o'clock, the gates closing, you have to close the gate and you have no right to go out. And for adults, for adult people to follow these strict rules, it's very hard. I mean, yes, first 3 2 months, okay, first months, okay, but then people, they cannot live like this, like a little bit in half of the, I wouldn't say this word, a prison, but anyway, it's not you feel that you're not have much freedom. And that's why some young mothers, because if the people, they have children, they more stressed, they more vulnerable. And some young mothers sorry, in this summer they said that we will return to Ukraine, because they felt real pressure from the workers, from the office workers, on their life, how they communicate with children. And some of them returned to Dnipro, to Zaporizhia, that is shelled now this month and under missiles. But people choose freedom, as they didn't learn Italian enough, and as they have children, they have not support, and they had no, better to say, how to say, powers to live in this organization in follow such rules. They just return to these dangerous places, to Ukraine. Minus is the Italian lessons. I mean, you may say that I told you that Italian lessons for free, and it's cool that it's for free with a native speaker. But yes, it's cool, but it's too much. I mean, we had the lessons every day since 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. So it was 2 hours, not much, but it takes a lot of time, because in the morning you have to prepared and to be in the other place up to 11 o'clock. And then when you finished, for example, if you want to go somewhere, it's very hot. This kind of lessons, they took almost all day. I don't know why, but really when we returned to these lessons, we were very tired, maybe because it was exactly the hottest period of the day. And each lesson contains the home task. So in the evening you should do your home task. And we just had not much free time. I mean, if this lessons was, for example, 3 times per week, okay, 2 times, okay, but each day, 5 days per week, it's terrible, because you cannot learn anything. It's too much loads your brain. You cannot a little bit rest and memorize everything. And yes, sometimes I didn't attend some 1 or 2 lessons per week, because I just wanted to rest of all this information. So it was really very intensive, and some of Ukrainians also tried to have this lesson 4 times per week, 3 times per week, because for them it was too much. And officer workers, they were not pleased. It was also some kind of pressure that you have to attend Italian lesson. If you have some really very important reason to not attend it, you have to tell us before. You will not present on this lesson, and tell us why. You have no right to not attend it because you tired or just don't want. And if you don't like rules, you can leave. You shouldn't be connected with our organization. You should free your room. You shouldn't take our food, and so on. And so yeah, I told you about minuses more like how to say, the minuses took more time of this video. I was more talkative, but to explain why it's not always good plus, I tried to make it more longer to make you understand. And so in the final, I want to summarize it, if it was good or not good experience of being a refugee. I would say like this, like the on the first 2 months, especially first months, maybe 3 months, but not longer. Okay, 2 months is the almost all pluses people. But after 3 months, it changed because it's too long time. People become naughty. Some of people become not don't follow the rules. Some people depressed because people, they do not live their own life. They do not responsible on their life, and this kind of relationships become a little bit annoying and stressful from the side of the organization. I think they should plan something. Um, they should think about future of these relationships, what to do with these people, because this cannot last for a long time. People should become independent and leave this organization, and it's better to make it faster. And the people also should think about their future by themselves, because sometimes organization is very slowly, they have a lot of problems, a lot of people. So yes, it's my video. Maybe it's too long because I was too talkative, but for me it was very important to tell you all happened during this half of the year, all pluses and minuses I felt as a refugee. Thank you for watching. Maybe in some other videos I will tell you about my kind of life I have now. Yeah, in some other videos I will tell you about more about this place, about my life. But today I think it's too long, and so I want to say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I will see you, and we will see each other in the next videos. Bye.